Hi guys, and welcome to a new video. This is gonna be a mid-year book tag. I'm gonna tell you about some books that I've read so far in this year from these 6 months. I found these questions from Sarah Caroli. She's literally one of my favorite booktubers, if not the best. The first question is, best book you've read so far in 2023. So, some books that I really liked is The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. If you know me from Instagram, you know that I talk about this book so much, about this book and another one that will come up later. But I talk about this book so much, about Jax and Evangeline, and I just loved their story so much. It was such a 5-star. This was one of these books that I would count as a 6-star. Another book that I've really liked so far this year is Unravel Me. Unravel Me is the second book in the Shatter Me series, and I also liked Ignite Me and the other books in the series, but I liked Unravel Me even more. I just felt like Aaron was just so sassy and everyone was just so perfect. And one book that I always brag about this book on the internet, especially on Insta, is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V. Schwab. Look how much I annotated this. I just reread it this week and it was just so fun to reread it and see those little hints and just annotate it. And actually one thing that I wanted to do was put photos, like this scene happened. If you know the book, you know this scene. And I added the photo next to the scene and it was just so fun. Next question is best sequel I've read so far in 2023. And I think you already know the answer to that is The Ballad of Never After. This doesn't need an explanation. This is just the best book I've read so far in 2023. I don't think I'll find an even better one. Next question is new release you haven't read yet but want to. And here I put one book that I bought this week, or I think last week, which is Yellow Face by Arif Kwang. This is her new release. This is actually signed by the author. I'm actually so happy about this, and I think I'm actually gonna start this somewhere this week. I'm also pretty excited to read Happy Place by Emily Henry. I do not have this book yet, but I really want to buy it and read it because I've just heard so many good things about it. I heard that it's such a summery vibes book. I think every book by Emily Henry is such a vibe. One book that I want to read, again, new release, is Fourth Wing. People have been raving about this book on TikTok and on Insta and on booktube, and I've seen it so many times, and I've just been hearing of Violet and dragons and scribes, and I don't know the plot of the book, but I want to read it so much. And also it's actually getting translated to Romanian, so thank you. I'm gonna buy it at some point. Another book that I want to read this year release is The Sun and the Star by Rick Riordan and Mark Oshiro. This is about Nico D'Angelo, which is this one. This is Nico D'Angelo. This is a character from the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, and this is Will Solis, which is again a character less important in the Percy Jackson series, but I love them too. They are in a relationship. I think this is perfect for Pride, the most anticipated release of the second half of the year. And I put here A Curse for True Love, which is the last book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. You know, the one with The Ballad of Never After. I can't wait for it. I think Stephanie Garber should have released it sooner. I just can't wait to see the end of Jax and Evangeline. Next release I'm really anticipating is The Brothers Heart Throne. This is about, obviously, the Brothers Heart Throne. In the Inheritance Games trilogy, Avery was like the main character, and in this book, the 4 brothers are the main characters, like Jameson, Grayson, Xander, and Ash. And I really want to see their relationship and their little games and negotiations, because I think they were so fun in the trilogy, but we just couldn't get their siblings dynamic too much. Another release I'm expecting is The Chalice for the Gods. This is from Percy Jackson's point of view. I literally loved Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and when I heard he had Rick Riordan was gonna publish another book from Percy's point of view, I was so happy. I was so happy for it. The next one is biggest surprise. I took this as Sarah did, like a book I didn't think I was going to enjoy, but I actually did. And I put in this category The Darkest Temptation. I don't really read dark romance books. I'm not really fond of it. But I read The City's Oblivion last year. I read The Maddest Obsession, and I was just like, okay, the third book, I need to finish this. And The Darkest Temptation, I liked it. Ronan was not the best boyfriend in the world. I think he was just bad. Mila, I don't know how he fell for Ronan. I wouldn't do that, bestie. I wouldn't. You know, I like the plot. I like the idea of it. That's all I'm gonna say about it. The next one is favorite new author, debut or new to you. An author who was new to me this year was Tahira Mafi. I haven't read any book by her. But I read the entire Shadow Me series, which is actually so good. Next one is Elena Armas. I read both The Spanish Love Deception and The American Roommate Experiment. I really enjoyed both of them. Clearly my favorite was The American Roommate Experiment. Again, if you know me from Insta, you know I talk about that book so much. I love it. And another author that I discovered this year was Kerry Maniscalco with the Kingdom of the Wicked series. I read the first book. Next question is newest fictional crush. Newest fictional crush for me is Kenji Kishimoto from the Shadow Me series. People have been raving about Aaron Warner, and I do love Aaron Warner, but only when it's with Juliet. I love Kenji more for myself. I think he's more of my type. Then it's Lucas from the American Roommate Experiment. I know I have a problem. He's just so fine. And then Charlie from Book Lovers. Book Lovers is a book by Emily Henry. I love it so much, and I love so much like Charlie. He's just such a gentleman. He's such a nice boyfriend. And I also wanted to say Jax, but he's not new to me. I know him from the Caraval trilogy, and I read that like last year, so I can't put that in here. Book that made you cry, The Ballad of Never After. It was the only book that made me cry this year. Book that made you happy, The American Roommate Experiment. It had me giggling, and it was just so good. And Book Lovers by Emily Henry, which is again such a nice book. It had me giggling, it had me laughing, and just being excited about it. Next question is most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. Some really nice books include Carrie Soto is Back. I don't think I would consider this the most beautiful book I've seen, but I don't know what's it about the book. I just like it. Do not ask me more about it. And also The Sun and the Star by Rick Riordan. Look at this. So beautiful. So beautiful. The last question, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? The Sun and Star, Fourth Wing, more Shakespeare. I do not know what kind of plays by Shakespeare, but I'm gonna find some plays by Shakespeare. I'm gonna read them. And Kingdom of the Cursed and maybe Kingdom of the Feared, which are the second and third books in the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy, which again I'm really excited about. I hope you enjoyed this mid-year book tag. I have all the questions down below if you want to answer to them in the comments. I guess this is the end of the video. Goodbye and see you next time. Bye!